It's with great pleasure that I introduce to you the next president of the University of New Mexico, Dr. Robert Frank. And I would also like to introduce to you his wife, Janet Frank, who is also present. And Dr. Frank was just selected by unanimous vote of the Board of Regents to be the next president of the University of New Mexico. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, John. Welcome back. Well, good morning. This is a very thrilling moment for me personally. Janet and I are thrilled to be back in the arms of the Lobos. Nothing could serve my own personal dreams and ambitions more than this opportunity to be president of this university. The University of New Mexico, I think everyone in New Mexico realizes what a great university this is, the great contributions it makes to this state. It brings in over $600 million of outside money into the state. It creates 38,000 jobs, and on top of that, it educates our next generations and makes incredible opportunities for the citizens of New Mexico. I'm a product from UNM, as you all know, and so for me to have reaped the benefits of this university and then have an opportunity to return and give back is a very personally satisfying moment. So I want to thank the Regents for their vote of confidence. I thank the faculty and the staff for their vote of confidence in me, and I look forward to building relationships with all the different communities here. And part of the excitement of this is the diversity and challenges of the New Mexico landscape. This is not a homogeneous place, as you all know. This is an opportunity to see the new America, and I look forward to being part of shaping that as New Mexico shows the whole nation how we live as a diverse group of people. So thank you, and I'll take any questions or comments you'd like to make.
Can you talk a little bit about how you intend to kind of come in the door and begin working with faculty who, I mean, some faculty expressed a concern. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, first I intend to come in the door and listen. I am a New Mexican by heritage and heart, but I haven't been in New Mexico for a long time, so I need to learn a great deal about the university and a great deal about New Mexico today. So for my first 100 days, and hopefully for much longer than that, I'll listen more than I talk, and I will really come to understand the issues that the faculty, the staff, and the communities face. The faculty, a university is a place of diverse thought. We want diverse thoughts in universities. The day that the faculty don't speak up and have diverse ideas is the day the university is not doing its job. So the fact that not every faculty member stood up and screamed Hosanna the day my name came up makes this a great university. That's part of the way universities work. I will meet with all faculty and I will get to know and understand all their issues.
Can you say a little bit about your experience at Kent State and what you're leaving behind, and how that experience helped shape you for what's the lives ahead of here?
Well, can I say one thing, since Dr. Frank is new? Would you mind introducing yourself and who you're with?
Sure. Russell Contreras, Associated Press.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been provost at Kent now almost 5 years, and it's been an extraordinary experience for Janet and I. We went to Kent because it was clearly an incredible opportunity to work with a president that had a very ambitious agenda, a board that had an ambitious agenda, and a university that had all the pieces but hadn't pulled them all together. And during the time I've been there, we've worked on some very important issues around student success, around enhancing our research mission, around university contributions to the communities. And in particular, in the student success area, we've started to see some real improvements. It's a rocky road, though. You take one step forward on student success and 2 steps backwards. It's a very dynamic issue. So we increased the retention very nicely, got it up to 6 points, lost a little ground on our last measure. Our newest measures show we're back up again to 5%. But what we've done is really focused on the student experience. What is it like to be a student at Kent State University? So we've revised business systems so that when students are at the university wanting to pay a bill, wanting to make a phone call, that the systems work better for them. We've changed how they engage in the social structure of the university, the learning communities, the things that reach out and grasp a student as they come to the university. The first thing a student wants to encounter when they come to the university is somebody like me, somebody that they feel some simpatico with. So we've tried to find those early links so that then we can diversify their thinking and broaden them. But when you're new and young, you want to find people like you, not different from you. So we've tried to bring them into groups that then diversify them as they go ahead. We've worked very hard on international education. We've increased the number of international students from about 450 when I became provost to over 1,800 today. We've established operations in Beijing, Chengdu, China, New Delhi to complement the other international programs we've operated. And we're now turning to work as hard on the research endeavor as we've done on these other areas, and we'll begin to see some progress on that shortly. But most importantly, what we've brought to Kent State's an incredible team of leaders who will be heartbreaking for us to leave, but it's a great place. It's probably more detailed than you wanted.
Kevin Robbins of New Mexico Business Weekly in Albuquerque. Been a real difficult economic time every place, and here, and the universities have faced a lot of problems economically. How might you approach those economic issues here?
Well, I'm fortunate to come in at a university that showed a lot of discipline and vision in the economic situation. The board and the president have paid careful attention to the challenges of the economy, and though it's been very difficult here in New Mexico, the University of New Mexico has done a pretty good job putting itself in a strong position. It's certainly not out of the woods. There are huge challenges ahead, but I'm impressed that the university is stable financially right now. From the TV, I've learned that the state budget is at least positive, which is a great thing you want to hear when you're a university leader. And so I think the key right now is to look carefully at the ongoing programs in the university. There has to be some attention to growth in some areas that have lost staff and faculty in the pause and hold strategy. But there should be growth that matches both the academic and greater economic opportunities for the university to stimulate the state.
Have you picked a place to live yet?
Yes, I have. Got the best house on campus. We're
Talk a
thrilled.
little bit about the compensation package.
I'm sorry?
Can you talk a little bit about the compensation package that's been outlined?
I'm thrilled that I'm going to have a salary here, and the university has treated me wonderfully, and I'm pleased with the package that they've offered me, and Janet and I are really looking forward to being here.
Can you tell us about the specifics in the package, like salary, benefits?
I have health insurance, which in a state where people are struggling to get health insurance is a wonderful thing to have. It's a great package. My salary will be $355,000, which is an extraordinary salary, and all the benefits are very thoughtfully designed, and I think it creates a package that's going to make us very happy, and we're pleased to be here.
Any comment about the, before you got here, football program was under a major transition. Now you have a new coach, and you're kind of moving past the last couple of years. Any comment about that, what you saw in your assessment there, since the Lobos and the Lobo football is such a big presence here as you know, as a home student?
Sure. I'm really impressed with the coach they've hired. I've followed it like any other interested sports fan has through the sports pages. Talked to the board and to the president about the choice they made, and he seems like an extraordinary coach who can bring the leadership and the discipline and the vision to the New Mexico football program that's needed. Of course, I was saddened by Coach Loxley's difficulties here. He came from the University of Florida, where we were at, and so I thought he'd be a great success here. And it was a sad outcome for all, and I think now the page has been turned the way it should. And I'm extremely optimistic and look forward to being at football games and having great entertainment and sports challenges there.
Anything that you would have done differently with the Loxley situation?
Oh, I couldn't even begin to comment on that. It was a complex situation, and the university had so much more information than I could begin to provide.
You plan to start?
I'm sorry?
When do you plan to start?
June 1st.
Sure you're going to be able to adjust from Ohio back to New Mexico?
Yeah, we'll struggle. That'll be a tough one for us. We went out of town on the front of a snowstorm that dumped 10 inches and came here to bright blue skies and mountains, and I thought I was in paradise. So I think we're going to make the adjustment okay. I mean, we have wonderful friends, and we're going to miss them terribly, but New Mexico is just an incredible place. We know where we're coming to live. So it's not like this is, there are many unknowns about the climate and what this place offers to us.
In the meantime, will you be making a number of trips to New Mexico?
I'll make a few visits. We're still talking about. I talked to the President Smidley about how we should manage that. You know, you've got a president in place who's running the university, and he's very capable, and he needs to run it until his last day. But I want to come and learn what I can learn from him while he's still in the role, and I intend to seek guidance from him even after he's out of the role. But I'll make a few visits to try and get to know some of the faculty, at least some of the leadership of the faculty, the deans, and some of those folks before my actual time starts. But in general, you know, running a university is something you've got to be fully engaged in, and part-time dipping your toes in probably isn't the best idea. So I'm going to use it mostly for education purposes.
What about the hiring of diverse faculty? That's always been a concern for many years. Is there any programs, ideas, something you want to institute on long-term to diversify faculty?
Well, you know, there are programs here underway, just like in many areas. There are programs here underway, and like many things, it takes a while for them to show the fruit of their efforts. And so I think there's some positive steps here. Having a diverse faculty at the University of New Mexico is a very important step. This is one of the most diverse university communities in the country, and we need a diverse faculty to demonstrate to our students that they're engaging in a world that has role models for them and people that have succeeded before them. So certainly I'll support and work with the programs that are in place. You know, the efforts in diversity really come down to pipeline programs, tenacity and persistence, you know, building programs that reach out into communities that can bring a diverse set of people to you, making sure you maintain those programs, and you get into challenges like New Mexico just went through where you have to cut your budget 20 or 30%. Those are things that don't have daily harvests, but you need them for the long run, so you've got to maintain those things. So I think the key is that kind of persistence and sort of tireless pursuit of excellence on all fronts, and that's something that I want to achieve in the academic mission, and I want to achieve it in the structure and functioning of the university.
When you were on campus last month, you made a comment about how the university needs to kind of understand who it is and what it's trying to be in the future. With a little more time to kind of take that on, where do you see that direction going?
Well, I think the university should be ambitious in its goals for itself, and I think my comment was intended to say this is a university that has great opportunities. There is a richness in this campus that I think is unappreciated outside, maybe not appreciated even in the Albuquerque community, but the complexity of programs, the breadth of programs that are available at the University of New Mexico is staggering. If you go to other universities and look at what they have here and say, you know, I'm interested in X topic, it's at the University of New Mexico most likely. I've looked at several presidencies recently, and there have always been big gaping holes. New Mexico has some of everything. It's a broad campus with a lot of great pieces in place. And with that platform, it can reach for the stars. And that's what I was saying, is we should have big, bold ambitions here. We cannot forget that this is a state research university that serves the state of New Mexico. We cannot leave the citizens behind. But we should set bold ambitions to really be up there among the best public research universities in the country. And so we start with that ambitions, and we begin to gradually move and seek those greater challenges that would put us in the league with the Michigans and North Carolinas, you know, the very best of public research universities. A long reach, but it could be accomplished. There's a great deal here.
Lee Coleman, New Mexico Daily Logo. The provost had talked about developing an academic plan for the university. Up to this point, UNM hasn't had a long-term plan for where it's going to fund academic projects. Do you see the university expanding and trying to incorporate more students, or do you see it trying to specialize in a number of specific programs to excel at those programs?
That's an excellent question, Luke, and it's probably one that I can't give an answer to that is as sophisticated as the question implies. I think probably some of both, and part of what I need to do is do that 100-day process and learn more about where the strengths and opportunities are for the university. We are moving into a world where you can't dabble like you used to be able to do in areas and be very thin. You have to have more concentrated expertise to really be among the best that you want to compete with. So there'll have to be some concentrated areas, but it is a broad university and we need to keep that broad breadth. So that the balance between those two is critical. The academic plan's a wonderful dialogue to start thinking through how do we do that, what are the opportunities and challenges of doing that. So I support the plan that the provost has put forward. I'll talk to him more and learn more about it. But it creates a dialogue among faculty that's very beneficial. So it's a good process to go through, and I think it'll help me understand, and the faculty as well, what the trade-offs are as you try and move the university forward.
Okay, and then the other question, ACC has been partnering with UNM to create some private housing on campus. Do you see UNM moving more towards increased private housing in the future, or would you like to kind of see kind of a diversification where you have UNM housing and you also have private companies on campus?
I don't know enough to answer it definitively, but I should say that trend of this partnering with people who bring their money to the table to build on campus is one that many universities are undertaking. Dormitories are an extraordinarily expensive part of running a university, and often universities find themselves strapped for cash and they can't keep the dorms at the level they aspire to keep them at. If you do these private-public partnerships, you can address some of those issues. So there's a value of those types of partnerships that's meritorious. And so I understand why the university did it, and I want to learn more about the specifics, but I can't really comment on what the future blend should be, except for to say, if you look across the country, many universities are following this formula right now. In fact, we're talking about it at Kent State.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to recognize in the back, I believe our former president of the UNM faculty is here, Rich Wood. Rich, thank you for being here. I think the next president of the UNM faculty, Amy, if you would say hello, thank you for being here. Also, on behalf of the regents, I'd like to, Regent Gallegos, Regent Hosmer, Regent Wellman.
Do I need to spend more advertising?
Regent Chalmers.
Up down Chalmers Ford.
There you go, I gave them the opportunity. And we'd like to thank the search committee who did a great job. We had a number of candidates, in excess of 100 people who showed interest. They narrowed it down to 15, and the search committee put in a lot of time, and then narrowed it down to 5. And while a lot of people could have been good presidents here at the University of Mexico, Bob Frank can be a great president, and that's why he became the next president of the University of Mexico. Thank you for being here. We have him scheduled for a busy day, and we appreciate it. And go Lobos.